You guys know the drill. Let's go over all of the parts inside of this computer before we go over the benchmarks and all of that kind of stuff. So for the CPU, we have an AMD Ryzen 7800X 3D. We have 64 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM. We have a 1 terabyte NVMe drive that I did install. And this, it is this one right here. It's a Rank Sienna or whatever. And then for the motherboard, we have an Asus Prime X670E Pro Wi-Fi. Pretty long name for a motherboard. And then for the GPU, we have an RTX 4080 Super. Gotta love those super graphic cards. Graphics cards. We have a 1500 watt power supply. The owner doesn't know whether or not they are going to be upgrading to one of the new 50 series cards when NVIDIA releases those. I'm not going to talk about that because I will get far off topic. We have the new Arctic AIO. I've used this a couple of times so far. The AMD version of this AIO is very simple to install, but the Intel version, you do end up having to like remove the entire CPU, and then like you have to put the this thing right here. This is the Intel bracket, and then you put that on, and then you mount the AIO to it. And it is, if you're building your computer for the first time, it is a little bit scary to do. I have done it a couple of times with the Intel CPUs. The first time I did it, I even have, dude, I've built like hundreds of computers at this point. And even I was a little skeptic of it. I was like, I don't know, dude. I'm putting this on an i9 for my first time. I should probably try this with like an i3 just in case. But overall, everything went well, and it works really, really good. It keeps CPUs extremely cool. So for the fans, we have some pretty new ones. They're very similar to the Lian Li, I forget what they're called, but they're very similar to the Lian Li fans. There's pretty much like no cables on them. They got the lights on the side, and as you can see, they're just aesthetically perfect. They look really cool. And then for the power supply extensions, just Asia Horse, because this is the first time that I have used this case. So for the case, we have this fella. We got the new Lian Li 011 Vision. Really the only difference is that the top part has the glass. I'm really, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm a little bit worried with this computer because I am going to be shipping this to the customer, so that's a lot of glass. However, I have shipped quite a few computers like the Height Y70, the Height Y60, a couple of Lian Li cases, all the NZXT cases and all of that kind of stuff, and I've never run into a problem, so cross your fingers for me. Now, benchmarks, if they weren't already on screen. I'm not sure whether or not I will have already put the benchmarks up for you or if I will have kept them. So if I already kept them, I'll catch you guys in the next one. If not, check out the benchmarks.